A warm welcome to UBC News Tonight once again. In our top stories of the day, the 2022 Championship of African Nations that has entered match day 3 in Algeria has been tainted by failure of reigning and back-to-back champions Morocco's failure to honor its Group C fixture against Sudan. The two were meant to battle at the Stade Mohamed Hamlayo in the Algerian city of Constantine, but the Moroccans didn't turn up despite organizers granting them all time possible. According to media reports that started last year, the Moroccans requested for a direct flight from Rabat to Constantine where they were to play their group games. This is the latest of an ongoing feud between the two countries due to a border conflict, and the impasse couldn't even be sorted by Confederation of African Football that has labeled the game cancelled on its website. Morocco was originally placed in Group C along Sudan and Madagascar and Ghana that play their opening fixture at 10 p.m. live on UBC TV. The Championship of African Nations is a relatively new initiative that is reserved only for players plying their trade in the respective local leagues. Uganda is part of this particular edition and was held goalless by Democratic Republic of Congo in its opening fixture yesterday. Well, despite pulling out, remember to tune in at 10 p.m. for Morocco versus Sudan in the same fixture. Now, President Museveni has arrived in the UAE to start a 3-day visit where he'll meet and hold talks with Sheikh Mohammed and the President of UAE and ruler of Abu Dhabi. The President will also attend the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Summit and hold talks with government officials and the business community from the UAE. Earlier, President Museveni was seen off at Entebbe International Airport by the Vice President Jessica Lupo, the Minister for Presidency, Honorable Abidi Emili Babalanda, the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, Mrs. Lucy Nachobe. The service officers were Lieutenant General Charles Okidi, Commander Air Force Brigadier General Christopher Damulida, Director of Crime Intelligence Uganda Police Force, and Deputy Commissioner General Uganda Prisons Samuel Akena. Still with the President of Uganda, he has committed more support to Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba in Chiriadongo district to enable it match the international standards. Museveni was commissioning training facilities at the institute aimed at raising human resource of the oil and gas industry. Details follow.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has commissioned training facilities for Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba. The institute is projected to enhance hands-on skills to trainees in the oil and gas sector.
Pioneer in the education here by having a world-class petroleum training center. Let's get the full plan. We shall support it because it is unique. It's unique. You cannot compare it with external travel allowances inside Uganda. We can freeze all those and we do this as we have done for other things.
Line ministries are tasked to plan well considering opportunity costs and benefits of short and long term.
You make the proper plan. I don't want to hear that we are now here at level 2. We hope to go to level 3. Go to level 3 now and plan now. If other people are confused, me, I'm not confused. Because this is small money to get bigger money and quickly, not concentrate or what, just today almost.
The Ministry of Education expressed commitment to equip learners with internationally recognized certificates.
The plan articulated very clearly the direction the country should take to skill its people and unlock their potential for productivity. Since then, the Ministry of Education and Sports has been implementing various projects towards the achievement of that goal. And the interventions implemented within these projects have led to improved infrastructure, systems and processes in the delivery of technical and vocational education training in this country.
Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba is currently supporting Uganda's oil and gas exploration by providing equipped human resource.
We trained a significant MOU with Total Energies to train 201 potential production technicians for the Tilenga project. This is a unique one. Uri has also taken most of our graduates. Those are just a few, but quite a number of them.
The institute management is appealing for more financial support to increase on enrollment and construction of a perimeter wall to fend off wild animals. For affirmative action to retain our highly trained staff, to ensure that they are not taken up by the oil companies.
Let's pay them also for the departments. For the department, because we need them, we need the best. If this becomes, you are saying it is the only one in East Africa, and I'm not surprised because this Okuzukuka waking up, we are the ones who started it here.
These commissioned training facilities are worth $32 million in loan acquired by the government from the World Bank. Abdul Nasser Lobama for UBC.
Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba is strengthening partnership with local governments in the Albertine region to identify and assess the environmental effects of oil exploration activities in the areas. This was disclosed during the commissioning of Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba in Chiadongo, officiated by President Museveni and graced by the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni.
Environmental conservation is one of the areas Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba in Kiryandongo district is prioritizing alongside offering training, research and consultancy in the field of petroleum exploration. Together with Uganda National Oil Company, the institute is embarking on the massive tree planting and helping district local governments in the Albertine region to incorporate environmental considerations into their structures.
Your Excellency, today you have planted a tree. When Mama came here, I was directed to plant those trees. I'm also happy to report that UNOC has partnered with us on the Go Green campaign. They have planted a few trees and have also promised to plant over 3,000 trees potentially this financial year.
This was during the commissioning of the World Bank funded institute in January by President Yoweri Museveni. The First Lady, also the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, urged the management of the institute to embark on tree planting campaigns to save nature.
To plant more trees, because you can see in dry season, this place can really be dry. So you need more trees. And there are tree seedlings everywhere. You are not short of those. So please make this campus full of real good Ugandan trees so that we can have the windbreaks in this campus, and when it's dry, there can be shades on the campus.
Inadequate water supply is one of the major challenges according to the Institute's principal, Bernard Ongodia. The President provided short and long-term solution to address the acute water scarcity in Kiryandongo district and neighboring areas.
We need to get piped water from the River Nile for the Kigumba area, because the Kigumba area is now becoming an important center. Murabe mbere n'umunywa amezi ga Naikondo hati twino okube mucyaho mugenda haga pipe, Agemedumo. I will make this a priority through the Ministry of Water now, not through, so that Kigumba gets water, Kigumba town, and maybe the district also, and you people also get from there. So this may take some 2-3 years, but we shall work on it also, but through the Ministry of Water.
Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba sits on 200-acre land. It's a government-owned national center for training, research and consultancy in the field of petroleum and gas exploration.
Fred Byamukama, the State Minister in charge of Transport, who is also the Bugangaizi West Member of Parliament, has led 14 other brothers with their couples to embrace holy marriage. The 15 are also sons of the late Karori Kamanyire, an historical NRM contact person who supported the NRA revolution and was a friend to President Museveni.
Veram felicitate e sacratissimo corde Iesu aurire possitis.
Matangi Kristo, matangi Karimojong, mataka ngasuban ke Bishop angoli kitetet. Ateker emalas aneka e President yok Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Emalas anenika totoyok Mama Janet Kataha Museveni. I am going to read the message which is written in English. I want to thank the Holy Father, Pope Francis, for appointing Reverend Father Dominic Eibu to shepherd Kotido Catholic Diocese. I join all the faithful of Kotido Diocese in welcoming a new bishop to shepherd and serve your diocese. I believe that the Almighty God, who chose you to carry the responsibility of shepherding his church at this particular time, has prepared you to fulfill your mandate. I commend the Catholic Church for maintaining a cordial relationship and partnership with the NRM government in working towards the socio-economic transformation of the Ugandan society. The church has exploited the private sector-friendly policies of the NRM government to extend social services to the public.
Well, I beg to correct, that's a story on Right Reverend Dominic Eibu, consecrated and enthroned as the new Bishop of Kotido Diocese, who is taking over from Right Reverend Giuseppe Filipe upon reaching the canonical age limit. In more stories, Christians in North Karamoja are excited about the new Bishop of Kotido Catholic Diocese that they believe will bridge the gap between Karamoja and Teso. They want the newly installed Bishop, the Right Reverend Dominic Eibu, to promote unity and peace in the region. Dominic Eibu replaces Bishop Philippi, who retired after clocking 75 years of age.
Kotido Diocese Christians are excited about the new bishop and have big hopes in him. The Right Reverend Dominic Eibu has been installed as the new bishop of Kotido Diocese, replacing Bishop Giuseppe Filippi, who retired after clocking 75 years.
Happiness, with the joy, with the love. See how the community, they are very happy when they are moving. They are very happy so much because they are enjoying that they have received the bishop today.
Kabong district is part of the diocese of Kotido Diocese, and so we are here to join the rest of the Christians to celebrate today's event celebration. We thank God for Bishop Dominic, and we know he's going to do a good job.
Christians say the bishop should work on uniting Teso and Karamoja, preaching peace among others.
He's going to be the only person who can unite the Karamoja and the Teso. That is my feeling about this ordination here, the consecration of the new bishop here.
Involved in the area of peace, we want the church to spearhead this area because this is the main challenge in Karamoja. The reason why the region is now experiencing a lot of challenges because there is no peace. There is no peace across the region, and we need peace.
Equally, not separating people that this is not a deal, this is not that.
To make sure the word of the Lord reaches even to all our cricket. You need to reach with the word of God to our cricket.
We want Bishop to continue giving, spraying about peace. In the word of God, you are supposed to preach peace, telling people about peace, to unite them all together, to have that love.
Kotido Diocese was carved out of Moroto Diocese in 1991 with Dennis Chiwanu Kalote as its first bishop, and in December 2009 he was succeeded by Giuseppe Filippi. The Right Reverend Dominic Eibu was born on 30th April 1970 in Ruala, Kalaki District. Eibu went to Moroto High School for secondary education and Apostles of Jesus Seminary in Moroto District. Kotido Diocese comprises of Kotido, Kabong, Karenga and Abim.
Fred Byamukama, the state minister in charge. So sorry about that. But Fred Byamukama, the state minister in charge of transport, who is also the Bugangaizi West Member of Parliament, has led 14 other brothers with their couples to embrace holy marriage. The 15 are also sons of the late Karori Kamanyire, a historical NRM contact person who supported the NRA revolution and was a friend to President Museveni.
Presiding over the wedding, Sharon Kyomugisha asked married couples to desist from having a hardened heart but learn to forgive each other and be tolerant. Byamukama made his marriage vows with Gladys Kemirembe during Holy Mass, celebrated by Monsignor Reverend Father Robert Mugisa, the Vicar General of Hoima Catholic Diocese, who represented the bishop.
One is easily offended, resentful, lacks ability to forgive. This can be very well located within the context of the marriage. You have been together and now you are continuing the journey in a new fashion, in God's way. Don't be offended easily. When you are
Earlier, Monsignor Reverend Father Joseph Birungi wedded 14 brothers of Fred Byamukama and asked them to stick to their marriage vows.
Sabe Mukama, tubene ngozi ezamazima. Tubene ngozi ezamazima. N'obuswezi bwaitu bube bw'amazima. Butaba bw'okujenjeka. Emigogo eri 14 n'ogwe 15 kuyijja okugamba mwene wetu mpuliyage kuteyanizibwa na nyewe kangende nangwa kirugire kimuha mutima kandi itu tukwesiga nkekerezia nti inywena abagole baitu kino ekitekerezo ekyokuja kuranga engonzi zanyu omaiso ga ruhanga n'okuteyanizibwa kirugire ha mutima gwe hatoboye mutima yanyu.
Speaking at the wedding, Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, who represented President Yoweri Museveni, explained that Uganda at the moment has only one visionary leader who should be allowed to continue leading the country.
Uganda inomukisa kuba tulina President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Nali takabaye minister, nali tamanyire mulimu gwa President takabaye Prime Minister. Naye President Museveni akola musana, akola ekiro, aikalira mu meeting, zinu z'aba investor, zinu z'aba ministers, zinu z'aba n'abeerosi alobo osanga baliyo ayina experience buli wogenzira mu maiso ge aliwo akayaka koyeka. Whenever you get an opportunity to meet His Excellency the President, there is something in you learn.
The Minister for Works and Transport, General Katumba Edward Wamala, asked the people of Kakumiro to continue supporting the NRM government.
Ogenda kuki boba koli akuwa bobo chali na chobanja banja gwakola ki gowola boba olito muola ogenda mubanja.
President Yoweri Museveni supported the wedding with 189 million shillings cash delivered by the Prime Minister. The historical wedding was attended by ministers, members of parliament, the clergy, guests from within and outside Uganda, and they gifted the couples with presents.
In more stories, President Yoweri Museveni has contributed 50 million Ugandan shillings towards construction of All Saints Cathedral in Iganga district. The money was handed over to Archbishop Church of Uganda Stephen Kazimba Mugalu by the State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Pacis Namuganza at Ivukula Anglican Church. I beg your pardon.
The Archbishop Church of Uganda, Stephen Kazimba, has received 50 million shillings towards the construction of All Saints Cathedral in Yeganga district. The occasion was graced by a number of dignitaries, including Justice Catherine Bamugemereire, who stressed the need of educating a girl child.
Olaba okusomesa omwana omuwala bwe kiri ky'omuwendo. Muno mu baana wano Archbishop basabidde. Mulimu abasomesa, ba headmaster, ba archbishop, ba bishop. Mu baana bebasabire olwaleero. Mulimu abasomesa, mulimu ba bishop, mulimu balamuzi. Aye gwe kidi oba toyidi. Do not take your children for granted.
Bamugemerere says educating a girl child is paramount and urged parents to instill in their children good morals. The donation was handed over to the Archbishop Stephen Kazimba by the State Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Pacis Namuganza.
Era His Excellency President Antise A2 Yabukaire Makumi Atanu. Oitenga bwako byeziwe Kazimba ngabo maze okwigula akakate nikale niba not receiving His Excellency the President's contribution.
The Archbishop Church of Uganda, Stephen Kazimba, who was concluding his 3-day tour of the Central Busoga Diocese, cautioned Christians to desist from practicing witchcraft, but instead resort to prayers in case they have problems.
And in more news, the Bishop of Mityana Anglican Diocese, the Right Reverend Dr. James Bukomeko, has appealed to all Christians and the clergy to always support religious projects. The Bishop says all those that render support to the Church are the #1 allies of development in the Anglican Church of Uganda. We have a detailed report from Kasibanti as he reports.
The Anglican Church can only sustain its projects with support from the clergy and the laity. The Bishop of Mityana Anglican Diocese, the Right Reverend Dr. James Bukomeko, hailed those that support church development projects, saying they are doing the right thing.
And I want to ask our people to desist from
such groups because they put development down. So please, we should always support good projects because they help other people, and that's what God taught us.
The bishop was commissioning a construction works of the first ever outpatient surgical ward in Mianzi Kasanda district and commended Ugandans abroad for supporting the diocese.
Different people from different countries, not only from US, to support this project under their group. Thank you very much, Brother Lutalo, our son.
The representative of Ugandans abroad, Patrick Lutalo, pledged to continue supporting the diocese, improve several sectors, and also support the needy and elderly, among others.
This care signifies a Christ-sure foundation for the church to show the love, the mercy, and to spread the gospel.
Lutalo appealed to the political and religious leaders to offer support to the construction of the health facility at Mianzi in Kasanda district. Communities in Kasanda and the nearby areas commended the Church of Uganda and Ugandans abroad for the health facility.
Nearby us. Ati tutawanyizibwa kuteeka mu transport ate zandibadde zituteeka mu transport ogenda ng'ewalala mu Kiganda nnyo olw'okubeera nga tulina omulabirizi ku lunaku olwaleero okutema evvuunike ku ddwaliro lya
Sada Mubale, Fred Kasibante, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Saddam Mubale and Fred Kasibante. The Bishop of Bunyoro Kitara Diocese, the Right Reverend Samuel Kahuma, has asked Kakumiri residents to denounce homosexuality. Bishop Kahuma says promoting homosexuality is ungodly and is very, very immoral.
The Bishop of Bunyoro Kitara Diocese, the Right Reverend Samuel Kahuma, has urged Christians to be conscious about environmental degradation.
Again, we have talked about environmental issues and the degradation levels, and especially now in this region, but in the country at large. It is very unfortunate.
This was during his pastoral visit to Kabuwa Parish, Kakumiro district, where he confirmed over 100 children. He also blessed the newly constructed church, commissioned the construction of priests' residence and construction of the church's commercial business.
We are coming out to say what is wrong, and it is bad for a church, let alone a church leader, to stand and promote this kind of evil, homosexualism or lesbianism, a man marrying a man and a woman marrying a woman.
Bishop Kahuma was received in Kakumiro by Reverend Edward Twesije, the new parish priest of Kabuwa Church of Uganda.
In more stories, scholars in leadership programs have suggested the need for a deliberate effort to model youths to offer transformative leadership. They argued out that the crises suffered on the African continent are worsened by leaders without morals. The deliberation by the scholars was at the launch of one such as a program organized under the auspices of Fidelis, a leadership training institute in Kampala.
An African-American transformative leadership expert, Francis Rogers, is leading a team of scholars to Kampala to dissect the root cause of poverty in Africa.
It takes people who will be bold, people who will confront the vices within themselves. Because sometimes we try to want to change people, but we ourselves, we have issues. So it's about first looking at yourself, providing that leadership to yourself. How can I become a better person, a better version of myself? What can I do? Now, if you are a person and you have challenges in your life, right? You will know them. You know them. You are aware of them.
They unanimously scanned out poor leadership to be the cause of the problem.
Running for prefect in schools, also giving bribes, the greed. These things are beginning to trickle down to our children. So we thought as the Fidelis Leadership Institute that we should get together and be intentional about raising faithful, available and teachable leaders who are faithful to their mandate, whichever it is, who are faithful to their work. They walk their talk. So we will teach even Christian-based values. We were also talking about availability. If you are a leader, are the community the first people that you think about, or is it yourself? We want leaders that are sold out to their causes. We want leaders that are available to the muntu wa wansi. We want leaders that are here with a purpose, not just going through life for themselves.
In their consideration, a change of the course of the events requires grooming of a new crop of faithful and ethical leaders.
We want leaders that are teachable. For a long time, we've seen our African leaders not learning from the past, not learning from experience. We think that we can teach ourselves. We're going to do case studies of leadership that has gone bad, that has gone well. We're going to look at transformative cities and what changed, transformative organizations and what changed. What was that thing that changed? What is in my DNA that I should pass on? What are the bad things I should end here and change and relearn and unlearn? So this is what we're doing. We've been doing this for 3 years, as I said. This is going to be the 3rd cohort, but we're launching in a big way because we have other partners. We have some corporates that have joined us.
A majority of the population in Africa belong to one faith or another, all of which preach good morals in direct juxtaposition to the vices of corruption.
Let's take a short commercial break and we'll be back with business stories, international news and sports.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Capote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Capote deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Capote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
*11. Keeping an eye on all your balance the old way.
I got this. Yeah. Balance is... Yeah.
What is he up to now?
*11.
Keeping an eye on all your balance with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to see all your balance in one place and in real time. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Miss you.
The government of Uganda, in partnership with the African Peer Review Mechanism, will from the 17th to the 19th of January 2023 host the second high-level forum on South-to-South Triangular Cooperation under the theme Building National Capacities for South-to-South and Triangular Cooperation Ecosystem in Africa and Forging Horizontal Partnerships for Sustainable and Resilient Societies. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, will give a keynote address during the forum. The forum will be live on the National Planning Authority's YouTube and social media platforms. This message is brought to you by the National Planning Authority with support from the United Nations Development Programme in Uganda.
The Uganda Small Scale Industries Association USSIA is a business member organization for micro, small and medium industrialists that has been in existence since 1979 with over 10,000 members and 16 regional offices countrywide. USSIA's core purpose is to enhance competitiveness through development, promotion, policy and advocacy for micro, small and medium enterprises. Find us at USSIA Building, Umasho Grounds, Lugogo, or call us on 0414 574 527, 0774 130 454, or 0782 173 086.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight, and we'll come back from that short commercial break as we continue with our news. In our business stories, a section of vendors in Kabale municipality are protesting what they've called the unjustified allocation of space and lockups in the newly constructed Kabale Central Market. These vendors in protest are most especially the tenants of the former old market, and these are up in arms with the authorities accusing them of unclear practices in the distribution of the lockups in the new market. Details follow.
Kabale municipal vendors are accusing authorities of soliciting bribes during allocation of lockups in their new market. They also said that authorities did not include some lockups during the raffle draws, and they gave out lockups to new owners before serving old members.
wajihurira harimo double na triple kwa budgeting na wakatunga double akatunga triple twamuha yabino ubushatu tukamuha akaju kamwe kahangu ninga ine butano tukamuha triple turatwasave ngo bujubunga bubiri.
The dissatisfied vendors presented their differences during a meeting also attended by the Kabale District President, District Commissioner Godfrey Nyakahuma, Kabale Municipality Mayor Sharon Kyomugisha, among others.
Tumazere myaka eshatu enamba yanje neria 85B hati tobizere kunu ya tukamara yeji myaka eshatu turiyo nutukora itwe ni mwenda kututeka nkahi muriyo mugabira obuju abakampara ito batine kitwine mazira mu myaka eshatu enamba yanje na 85B nyowe ninza kuza intwire nishashura kanso nishashura license.
The Kabale District Resident Commissioner Godfrey Nyakahuma asked the tenants to cooperate with the authorities and follow lawful procedures.
Ninyenda kubamanyisa nti obo buju n'obwanyu abantu baburijo abaye bari mu kataro, right? Now omuntu we narahereza kaju omuntu aba irata gukora atari mu kaju neje kuba yahenda amateka obuju n'obwabusha president akatara kukombekera imyo abantu baburijo abashubuzi so omuntu akwija ko abantu sente na huruba kweta Alex ubona Alex so abantu abona disogu muhereze jo listi tuza kubachondoza cyancyeta gisatu batware no bukote.
On the delayed completion of the market, the vendors said that they also incurred huge losses in the process of shifting to the Chigongi Police Barracks market that had been gazetted at the time.
Kongaganda kolera kuri mukatari baje batfurura akaruka kanje ni namba 9 mukasheshe commission ogu yatahe kirango yagira ngo nenda kugabira barand owners local owners hamwe na tenants ba produce kandi nibyo turashubura konga cyabe cyo busasa kureba mu babamarayo lock up owners nankani aba produce.
Kabale Municipality Mayor Sentaro Kyomugisha distanced himself from accusations that the Markets Committee, together with the Ministry of Local Government Authorities, were engaged in corruption.
In more business stories, the proprietor of Delight Uganda Limited, Dr. Juliana Adieri, has appealed to all Ugandans to embrace farming as a way out of poverty. Adieri, who is also self-propelled entrepreneur with a niche in manufacturing cheese juice, gave the advice during the tour of her expansive fruit farm in Moya District, northern Uganda.
Yes. Since 1986, Dr. Juliana Adieri's dream was to build a fresh juice factory from locally grown fruits. Though the factory is not yet in place, preparations seem to be in advanced stages, judging by her extensive fruit farm sitting on several acres in Moya District, northern Uganda. The entrepreneur is now focusing at creating as many jobs as she can take up all the youth and women, something she seems to have partially achieved, as many of these are either employed on her farm or at the Cheers Juice factory in Kampala.
This opportunity to say thank you to NARO, thank you to the European Union for the great job being done. We have already started collecting our sunflower, soya bean and millet. And we shall start very addition at the end of January.
The female entrepreneur is now looking at putting up initiatives in other areas, especially West Nile. Though jobs creation and skills development through training of youth and women remain her long-held ambition.
This is our Delight Farm Institute, where we carry on hands-on skilling. This institute has helped me to transform the community in Moya District. And the other people who come to see what we do, they also learn. We do for them, train them in the garden. After that, they also go and do.
Adieri wants Moya district residents and the rest of northern Uganda to look at fruits as cash crops. Adieri also says with her team of farmers, there is now capacity to supply juice across the whole country. Though having a fruit factory of her own would be more fulfilling, she says lack of a factory is obstructing her to process fresh fruit juice.
I decided to plant more fruits, and now I have all the fruits. And I know the loving God will help me to sell the fruits if I fail to get anybody to support me. Whether I sell the fruits for 10 years, I will get money and build a factory. My first request is, I need the bridges to be made. I need the power to be here, and I will be sure that I will make a factory, because the stress I'm going through is equivalent to this fene. The more I stressed it, the more fene. There is another fene we stressed it, gave us 260 fene.
Lack of a factory to process her mangoes therefore remains an unresolved task, as a lot of mangoes go to waste whenever there is a bumper harvest.
Mangoes grows. You can see our mangoes are really growing well. The sorghum has grown well. So next year in the same garden, I'm going to plant granules or soya bean. In the soya bean, I can also get from 1.5 to 2.5 million. By the end of the 4th year, I will have got enough money to maintain my orchard. And the mango starts. That's when I will expect to get good money. Whom am I talking to? Those who are developing the Paris development model. They should come at the Delight Farm Institute.
Moya residents are happy that Adieri has not only provided them an opportunity to get jobs, but also trained them on how to make money and improve their livelihoods.
First, we discuss about the gaps, the good agricultural practices, whereby we find that in that gaps we have the first one, it is the nursery establishment, then followed by the orchard establishment. So all those things we discover. So
I've learned a lot, whereby I couldn't expect before that I will be in position to achieve. But at this time, I inquire the knowledge and skill, which will help me to look different from other people.
Story compiled by Kenneth Tanaba for UBC News.
festive season is here and it's Christmas in 4G from Airtel. Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda, now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes! 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones this holiday season.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. Happy holidays this festive season with Airtel, the smartphone network.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So, we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash hands with soap, it means clean hands for all. This is a message from the National Hand Washing Secretariat.
Thank you so much for still watching UBC News Tonight. Now, international stories. An explosive device was detonated at church in the northeast of the country in what the military has labeled a terrorist act. A joint Ugandan Congolese military operation targeting the Islamists in North Kivu was launched in November 2021. A joint Ugandan Congolese military operation targeting Islamists in North Kivu was launched in November 2021, and at least 5 people were killed and 15 wounded in a suspected Islamist militant bomb on a church in the North Kivu region of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, Congolese military spokesperson Anthony Mwalashai said the terrorist attack occurred at a church in the town of Kasindi, which lies on the border with neighboring Uganda. Videos posted on social media showed bodies in the pews and blood on the floor. Another showed blooded victims being carried and treated by bystanders outside the church. The Allied Democratic Forces, with the Islamic State group, claims as its affiliate in Central Africa, is active in the area of North Kivu, where the church bomb attack took place. This would be the first time the ADF targeted Kasindi since the group stepped up attacks in the region in 2014, local territorial administrator Charles Omewonga said.
Leaders who care create a good learning environment.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
In our sports stories, Uganda Skating Federation has hosted the National Skateboarding Olympics qualifier at the Mukono Skate Park. The qualifier attracted more than 80 participants with sight on the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Details follow.
The battle for who makes the grade that represents Uganda at the Paris 2024 Olympics has started with the National Skateboarding Olympics qualifier at the Mukono Skate Park. Participants were from the country's best clubs including ISK, Skateboarding Society and Kichintale Skateboard Union. The competition was in two categories of street and park skating.
As in, when we are judging, we look at the aspect of speed, the best trick, and the runs he makes in the 55 seconds he's given.
The best athletes will represent Uganda at the second International Olympics qualifier due in Dubai later this month. The federation will take 24 athletes with the best 6 from each category assured of a place on the national team that will be under head coach Geraldine Subuga. On evidence of action at this National Skateboarding Olympics qualifier at Mukono Skate Park, athletes like Rashid Serunjoji, Brian Bukenya, Shakira Nanano, Janelle Nakigos and Nambi Sharon are likely to make the grade. But amidst efforts to steer the participants to history by participating at the Olympics, the sport faces challenges that the federation seeks to address.
We need more infrastructures because this sport requires infrastructures so that we can go. So we think of going to Ndeje University, Gulu and Imbarara universities to acquire land so that we could get infrastructures to help in the spreading of the sport.
Skating is one of the latest additions on the Olympics rota and will make its debut at the 2024 Games. John Barnes, Sentamo, UBC News.
Thank you so much for tuning in to watch UBC News Tonight today on the 15th of January 2023. Stay tuned for Madagascar and Ghana that are playing their opening fixture at 10 p.m. here live on UBC TV. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a blessed, beautiful new week ahead of you. Good night. Bye-bye.
UBC, my name is Tessa Milu with your weather update. We are still having isolated thunder showers occasionally here and there, more especially in the southern sector of our country. But the northern part is experiencing sunny conditions and sunny intervals. This is due to the meridional arm that is sitting over the southwestern of our country, sparkling in few isolated thunder showers that we are having here and there in combination with the local effects. But tomorrow morning we expect to wake up with sunny intervals across the capital city Kampala and the central at large. This will continue even in the eastern part of our country and the western stretch. But the northern part is expected to have a bright, sunny morning. In the afternoon hours, we are seeing a pickup of isolated showers here and there, especially in the central and the western part of our region stretch. Apart from the eastern, we are seeing sunny intervals. But the northern part of our country will have sunny intervals at a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. Is moving out of Uganda touring the few cities across the globe. We are having sunny intervals across the neighborhood of Nairobi at a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius, Dubai with sunny intervals at a maximum of 25, London with cloudy conditions with low temperatures of 5 degrees Celsius only, and Kyle with sunny intervals at a maximum of 17 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Tessa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
It's better to foster respect instead of fear and pain.
Cause a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain, and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
The 37th National Resistance Movement Liberation Day is here. This will be celebrated on the 26th of January 2023 under the theme,
Our resolute effort to transform Uganda is a promise we shall fulfill.
The NRM government has made a lot of achievements in the different sectors like infrastructure development, health sector, ICT, agriculture, education and sports, trade and industry, not forgetting peace and security. This year's event will be held at Kakeka Grounds, Kakumiro Town Council, Kakumiro District. Long live NRM, long live Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Youth of Purpose.
Hello, welcome to Youth of Purpose, a show that is here to give you a platform as a young person to be able to contribute to your country's development and make yourself better. We give you this platform to give your opinion in as far as national importance issues are concerned. But also as young people, we face a number of challenges that I do think we sometimes, or at most times actually, have solutions to, but we are not given a platform to suggest what we think can better our lives. And that's what Youth of Purpose is here to do, to give you that platform, to speak to the stakeholders in this nation, to be listened to, and then contribute to this country's development by giving in your opinion. Now today, as we understand that the reading culture in this country, but also the writing culture, because if we are to read, definitely there must be people that are writing the arts, the literature that we are going to read. But that is a spirit that for years now has kind of lost, a platform, or we don't see many people taking up this kind of initiative to write. But when you go to schools and communities, I may ask for you people who are watching, how many books did you read this week? How many books did you read the previous month or even the previous year? You might find that you can bear me witness for the previous 5 years, you haven't read a book. and you ask yourself, where do you learn from other than the movies that you watch? Most of you, I understand, the young people, you want to learn from the movies, your friends and stuff, but then reading helps you to move to places. When we were doing literature in high school, we used to ask ourselves, so what kind of life do these people that don't do literature live? Do they actually even know what's happening in the world? Because basically literature brings the whole world at your hands, and you're able to understand whatever is taking place in the whole world. So today we want to be looking at how we can be able to develop the reading culture in this country, but also encourage young people to involve themselves in writing. Write your culture, write your history, write about who you are, such that people can understand who we are, other than the West and other people writing about us. They might not be able to tell our story better. And with me today, I have a person that is very passionate about writing, passionate about young people. She is an author, an entrepreneur. We want to be listening to her, and as you watch, I'm certain you're going to be able to learn a number of things. She has written this book, Jalia and the Secret of the Golden Dragonfly. We want to know about this book, what can we be able to learn from this book, and what inspired her to write. Michelle, welcome to Youth of Purpose.
Thank you so much.
We are so happy to have you here.
And I'm glad to be here.
And kindly say hello to the viewer.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Michelle Masanza, and I'm really happy to be here today.
I already gave a brief introduction about yourself, but I think it would be better if you can let us know about you.
Okay, so my name's again Michelle Masanza. I am a writer, an author. I am an artist, a painter, a digital illustrator, and currently a high school student.
Who is an author?
An author is someone that uses the power of writing to influence the world around them and to bring the stories in their minds into reality.
Amazing. You're very young by the look at your face. What inspires you into writing that at your tender age you're able to release a book of your own?
What really inspires me is the world around me. The stories. Every time I see someone walking by, I think, wow, that person has a whole life around them. They have different challenges, they have different strengths, different weaknesses. They meet a million people in their lifetimes, but each and every one of us has a story.
Oh yeah.
And that truly inspires me to explore the stories that we live and to use my passion for writing to build such stories that inspire, stories that teach, stories that force us to look at our lives through a different perspective. And that's really what my goal was with Jalia. My goal was to force us to look at a story from several different perspectives and see how your point of view affects the way that you interact with the world.
Oh yes. So before we go to the book, first of all, what's your take in as far as the reading culture is today in Uganda, mostly amongst the young people?
Amongst the young people, in my experience, we do not read as much as we should. Most times, once you leave secondary school, that's the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you will read 30 more books till that day you die, and that's maybe if you are really forced to, maybe if your job has something that they require you to. Those that really get into self-improvement, even they read a handful of books that, yes, are impactful, but we are really missing out on the wealth of knowledge that is compressed within a book. In Africa, I don't think that our reading culture, especially amongst the youth, is where it should be.
Amazing. So first of all, we say the reading culture is not where it should be. To say it's just low. Why is it in any way important for anyone to read? What does it add on me? But also you may understand that for some people the only books they've read are the academic ones. Is that if someone is doing sciences, they've read biology books and that's it. If it's mathematics, the books I read that were the textbooks that were given to us in high school, that's all. The same comes to campus. The courses you're doing, you're just reading for the basics of passing exams. That's the reading actually that we know. So should I consider myself a reader if I've read all the books, the academic books they gave me at school? And then why is it important for me to be a reader?
Okay, so it's really, really important for us to read because it rounds us. It gives us a more cultured view of the world and it makes you a balanced individual.
Wow.
Because you can read, and if you, let's say if you're an engineer, you can read so much about engineering, but is that all you are? Does your worth and the value that you bring to the world stop at being an engineer? No, you might be a father, you might be an artist, you might be a brother.
But even actually, when you're an engineer, that means you're going to be working with people.
Exactly.
So how you relate with people, how you talk to people. Yeah.
Yes, how to build really strong relationships that are going to serve you throughout your career. And missing out on reading books that build all these other components of your life is a mistake that we can no longer afford to make, especially us, the ones that are going to be taking the world into the next season.
Wow. Okay, coming to the reason why we are here today, Jalia and the Secret of the Golden Dragonfly. Tell us about this book.
So, Jalia, in The Secret of the Golden Dragonfly, is a fictional novel. It's the first part in a series, and it tells the story of a girl who gets in a lot of trouble because she goes sticking her nose where it's not supposed to be.
Curiosity.
Yeah, the curiosity really, really almost killed this cat.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that's what this story is about. It's really about misunderstandings and the danger that not having the full story can put you in.
So what inspires you to write this book? Because for some of the people, the books they write would be kind of about their life, the life they've lived, what they've gone through. Does this book in any way relate to your personal life?
Well, of course, as an author, we cannot write outside ourselves. We can think creatively about what a different character would do in a certain situation, but to say that I am completely removed from this book would be a lie. This book definitely is inspired by some of the situations that I've gone through in my life, also some of the things that people in my life have gone through, some of the challenges we have faced, and the dangers of misinformation as well. Yeah, those are some of the things that inspired me to write this book.
So first of all, I need to let you know that I had time to first read the whole of this book. And I can tell you, this is the book for you to read. If you haven't started reading, please get started with this one. And I can testify that I've not seen any difference. If not, I've seen better from the novels and the books that I've read from high school, at university. And I think, with no offense, I want to compare with the Chinua Achebes. And honestly, you've done us a very great work as Uganda, but also as Africa. And for those who did literature, they can bear me witness that most of the novels and the books that we're doing, I don't remember any book or novel that was written by a Ugandan. Leave out the people who are doing literature in Luganda. Those ones, at least Luganda is definitely written from here. But for those who are doing literature in English, I don't remember any novel that I read that was written by a Ugandan, and that's so sad.
It was something that shocked me actually, because I am a reader. This year alone, I have read over 120 books.
120 books?
Yes.
How do you do that? Do you do that as a job? What?
No. Once you understand the power of reading, this is knowledge that has been compressed in one of the most easily accessible ways. As you understand the value of that, you cannot fail to read a book.
And actually, reading is addictive.
It is.
You can be very, very addictive. And if you don't know, but I think it comes with good literature. If someone has written good literature, definitely you'll be addicted to read. There are books that are smaller than this one, but I cannot read them in a day. I read a chapter, I go and relax. I read another chapter, but I couldn't let myself go away before finishing this book. I wanted to know how the story ends. Unfortunately, she has put this in series. So, and she has an art of leaving you hanging in a way that you must read the next chapter, whether you want it or not. So Jalia is a book for you to get, guys. Huh? Later she'll be telling us where to access this book, whether online or in the bookshops. So the first parts of this book, first of all, helps me to understand the kind of environment that we are living in, and it sets a very example that many young people out there will identify with. Being able to choose careers for ourselves, it's a very, very big challenge that you will find the lives we are living are not our lives. We are living lives of other people.
Other people, the society.
Exactly. It might be because of the village, how people want you to live to their standards, to their norms, or at most times, the young people live the lives of their parents. I don't want my father to feel like this. My father wants that. You are my son, you cannot. You are my daughter, you cannot. And therefore, everything is about them, not you. Tell us about that part.
So, that one, I think, is a part of the book that I felt most. That is the most of me that appears in this book.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've grown up in a society. My mom is a microbiologist. My father is an entomologist.
Entomologist.
He's an agriculturalist.
Agriculturalist is what we can understand with our... yes.
He has studied all of the insects that affect that matter can you eat.
Wow.
He wrote a book about it.
Wow.
So me, being someone that's so much into arts, so much into painting and cutting, I was always cutting things up, I was always drawing on their walls, I was always... So...
And they let you do so. And in the book, I read where you were writing about Jalia. Jalia is the character that she uses in this book, saying Jalia was appreciating the dad for allowing her to write on the walls. And
actually, that is me.
Wow.
That acknowledgement is me. But at the same time, I also did feel that pressure growing up to go on for a marketable. Arts in Africa has not really, that the creative economy has not developed to the extent that society has accepted it as at the same level of being a doctor or at the same level of being an engineer, and that struggle was in me as well, and that really stopped me from pursuing art. I only really started seriously pursuing art 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been drawing for 2 years, painting for 2 years. That's when I truly allowed myself to explore myself authentically, because society has this demand on our youth to create a sort of stability, but that is stability in the context that they grew up in. What it means to have stable income in 1962 isn't necessarily what it means to have stable income in 2022. There are so many more opportunities now than there were back then.
How were your parents able to understand that and let you do so? Your parents are staunch scientists.
Staunch.
So how were they able to accept and say, for Michelle, this is what she is and let us support her?
I think, number one, there was going to be no other option for me. I cannot... I am incapable of not being myself.
You can be a shadow
I cannot
someone.
be someone else. So from a young age, society tried to steer me, but I was like, Neda, I know what I want.
Yeah.
Once they understood that, my parents never saw me as an extension of themselves. They saw me as an individual that they are training up to be a productive member of society. So my parents focused more on instilling within me foundational principles. The reason I'm a reader is because of my mother. From a young age, my mom would give us books to read and tell us to write reports. From a young age, they would buy me, if I wanted tennis, they'd take me. If I wanted dance. So they really invested in me. Now, those things didn't really go anywhere, but what they did was they gave me a platform to really build confidence in myself. So most of the pressure to be anything other than who I was came from the society around me, but my parents really formed a safety net for me, and I really owe everything that I am today to them.
Wow. Another aspect that your book brings out that for me it was very crucial and is also a challenge that young people face, and a reason that you should be able to read this book and the more series that are going to come out, was the aspect of having to choose between being a rebellious child, or you lose yourself and accept to take, for example, what your parents or society wants you to be. And it's a very, very, very hard junction for someone to choose a path to take. To say that, you know, let me just do what they want, or let me do what is right. Yes.
That is a decision that all of us have to make at some point in our lives. I think if you are blessed, you have been given the opportunity to be rebellious in the security of your guardian's home. You have been given a chance to make those mistakes when it is not as consequential as making them at 35 when you have a family. So what my hope is that each of us during those times, we are given the opportunities and the tools to make those decisions for ourselves. Not everyone is going to be in a situation where they can choose to take their passion. However, everyone needs to be able to make a choice for themselves and to understand why they are making that choice, not because so and so said so, because it is expected of me. That decision should come from you, so that you do not reach a point and begin to lash out at society when eventually you're miserable with your condition. Then you start blaming everyone around.
But it becomes very, very hard. We talk about it and we make it seem easy that you're going to be able to make a stand. But from reading this book and from your writing, you can see how hard it was for Jalia, first of all, to make her parents understand what she wants to do. But at the same time, we see the conflict of parents. One, the mother wants to try to understand the daughter, but she cannot make a stand against the father. Exactly. And therefore, the child remains with the fighting within herself, not being able to open up, because when she knows, the mother is not going to be able to do anything about it. And that's why at some points, we see her fleeing home, and many children actually have done that. So how can one be able to make their parents understand their interest? But also, how can we encourage our parents to be able to understand that we also have a life? They've lived their life. Why can't they support us to be exactly who we are? And I can tell you from our family, the same with me. I'm the person who was the first to come out to completely do arts. You understand? So, and going into media for that case, people look at media for people who are unserious. You understand? So they are like, so you're going into media, hey, ABCD, you're going to be like the other person. I'm like, no. I think I can bring in a different aspect of media personalities. Not until I did this and I proved to them that, by the way, I can be a media personality, but also stay a good person, and they do appreciate what I'm doing today. So how do we be able to make that stand, to make our parents understand us, support us, but also encourage the parents to do their rights and do their role as parents?
So I think that change has to happen on two levels. The first is the family level. There needs to be a conversation between the children and the parents, an understanding that I am in your care, dear parent. I am in your house, and there are certain rules that I must abide by. However, I will leave this house and I will be an independent person. So I think that rather than focusing on controlling the outcome of my life, we focus on me being raised in a manner that will make me a strong individual. That way you raise people that whatever situation they face in life, they will be good human beings. Whether that is a doctor, because you can raise a doctor, but when they are a terrible, terrible, terrible person. The second level has to be on the cultural level. I think as a culture and society, we need to tell more of these success stories. For example, your story. The more we see people like you who come out and who society can say, okay, he did arts, the world did not end. He's actually doing a lot more for society than he would have done
if he had
gone into sciences. So really telling these stories of successful people that went against the norm and created, kind of built this new path for people to walk on. So I think if we can do those two things, have that inter-family communication, but also as a society, read more, hear more, learn more about these stories. It will really go a long way in taking us forward as a society.
What does this book mean to you?
This book to me means taking back my voice, taking back my power. It means me expressing those parts of myself that I had suppressed. It means me saying to the world, here I am. This is what I am here. But also this book to me symbolizes the beginning of a new era in Africa. I am going to make it my life's work to turn Africans not just into readers, but into writers.
Amazing.
By inspiring a new generation to put thought to pen and put pen to paper.
Great. What's your message to a young person out there who is an aspiring writer, but also the person who has been trying to become a reader, and every time they read 1-2 pages, either they are sleeping or they get bored and they give up? What's the strategy for them to be able to read 120 books in a year?
I think that the easiest advice that I could give you is find what works for you. For me, audiobooks are the tool that I use. I can put in my headphones, I put on the audiobook as I do the other things, because a lot of people say they don't have time to read because it interrupts their life. But my dear, if you sit in a taxi every morning and every evening for 1 hour to work, that is 2 hours a day. You can convert into knowledge. Learn to maximize your time. And that's the same advice I would give for any aspiring writer. Stop making excuses, my dear. You have 24 hours in a day, and so does who? Bill Gates. Maximize your time. This book was written 1 page at a time. I spent 1 hour every day, Monday to Sunday, for almost a year. And here I am. So build habits that are going to get you to your goals. And please, stop babying yourself. I know that's not what some people might want to hear.
No, but they need to. They need to hear that.
Be tougher on yourself, not in beating yourself down, but in building those habits that are going to take you to your goals.
My recommendation is every young person out there, actually not only young person, not only young people, but everyone out there, is to read this book. What's the 2 books other than this yours? This is the first recommendation, definitely. Any 2 books that you recommend to young people to read to transform their lives?
I have so many.
Just 2.
Let me pick 2. The first book I would recommend is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. As a young person, that book has a lot of skills that if you add onto your foundation early in life, they will really take you far. The second book is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Yes, that one. I don't know, but I always have to add it in there. Wow. I think that book, it's a fictional novel. A lot of people are turned off by reading non-fiction books, so it's a light read. You can knock it out in one day. But what I challenge you most of the time is to think about the real message
in the book.
In the back
Yeah.
of the book.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle, for speaking to us, and thank you for putting this together. I can tell you, I consider her one of the greatest writers Africa is going to have and is having today. When you read the content in here, you'll be able to come out and give us a testimony. I do believe young people like Michelle are going to transform Africa, like Youth of Purpose is transforming Uganda, and at the same time, we are going to transform Africa. Thank you so much for watching this show. Go out and read. One book that I also recommend, away from Michelle's book, Jalia and the Secret of the Golden Dragonfly. You go and read the 7 Stages of Self-Awakening, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. Yes, by Robin Sharma. Yes. Go and read that book. I'm certain it is going to transform your life. You can never remain the same after reading that book. You will bear me witness. I thank you so much for watching this show. Go and follow me on all my social media platforms at I_Tumukunde on Twitter, I Tumukunde on Instagram, Ivan Tumukunde on LinkedIn, and Tumukunde on Facebook. Michelle, maybe you can let people know how they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram at thirdworldgirl, third_world_girl_, as well as on YouTube at thirdworldgirl. The same names on Facebook.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much for watching this show. See you next time.
Youth of Purpose.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. inspiring Uganda.
Good evening, a very warm welcome to the best of the good life. More than ever, my name is Drago and welcome to Chilling, a show that I hope will have an impact on the future of this great nation. Now, entrepreneurs are always known for discovering an opportunity right before others discover it. Now, the person that I have on the show is actually one of the most successful, hands down, the most successful entrepreneurs we have in this nation. He's gonna inspire you, he's gonna uplift you, he's gonna even tell you stories that you won't believe, and you can't make all this up. Now, this gentleman has scooped awards from the international market to the local market. He came up with an idea that started as a dream. He said that, you know what, I think Uganda is lacking to have a more settled, organized settlement. And guess what? That dream came into fruition and he built one. You know it, you've seen it. You guys know Arkwright Satellite City, Kakuguru, that is located on Entebbe Road, that boasts over around 200 homes that are organized, clean, and very, very enticing. Now, today I came at his house to actually check him out and chill with him, and we have a conversation. You know, this is his beautiful house, a fortress, as you can see from the background. I wish this was my house. But most importantly, I'm going to tell you about this book. From a business tragedy to strategy is actually a book that is going to unlock all your opportunities, all things that have been jamming, and all the entrepreneur pragmatists should also tune into the program and better know that the words of wisdom are in this book. So don't move an inch, stay with us as you join me with Dr. Anatoly Kyomugisha, who is here today with us on Chilling. This is the best of the good life.
Arkwright Satellite City has emerged a rare model microcosmic city in the country, boasting in its impeccable, orderly, clean, secure human settlement. Chilling sits down with the mastermind behind this sound business empire.
Today, I've been given an opportunity to talk about myself. I know it's not a small thing, it's a very big assignment, because talking about yourself means you are talking about when you are still a toddler, when you started remembering anything, you know. My name is Dr. Anatoly Kyomugisha.